Hello everyone, I'm practically hugging my bookshelves because I've rearranged my bookshelves and there is now books everywhere. So let's just get started with today's video. So today I am bringing you my very first Top 5 Wednesday video. For those of you who do not know, Top 5 Wednesday was created by Ginger Reads Laney, and I shall leave her link and the Goodreads group in the description box down below. So today's Top 5 Wednesday topic is Top 5 Books You Read in One Sitting. I have my book here, so you know I'm going to be looking at it all the time. So yeah, it's top 5 books you've read in one sitting. However, I am changing that slightly to the top 5 books I read in 24 hours because in one sitting isn't fair when half these books I read when I was a teenager and I was at school. So yeah, let's get straight into it. So the first book on this list is of course Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban by J.K. Rowling, and I absolutely adore this series, as does pretty much everyone else I've seen on BookTube talk about it at any point. Obviously this one's really short and it made me fall in love with the series, and I'm going to do a reread of this series at some point, and I might even do a series review, even though I know that everybody loves it anyway, but you know, it's something I fancy doing. So yeah, book number 1. Book number 2 on this list I don't actually have with me because my sister pitched the book, and that is The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins, and that is it goes for every single book in the trilogy I read in less than 24 hours, and I just absolutely loved them. I fell in love with the characters and the plot and the development, and just, oh my goodness, every time I went to put it down I had to pick it back up because I couldn't just sit and, like, I couldn't not sit and read it. I had to, like, every time I had to go do something I took it with me because I was like, I might get a chance to read and I want to know what happens. So I kept taking it with me, and I was blown away by it. It was unbelievable. The third book in this segment, we shall call it, is Phoenix Rising by Bryony Pierce. Now I recently read this and I talked about it in my May wrap up, so I'll leave that in the link down below as well. And this book is just, it's great. I really enjoyed it, and I read it in about 6 hours. And normally I fly through ebooks, but not that fast, if that makes sense. I don't normally go through them as quickly as I did with this one. This follows a boy named Toby and his dad, and they are scavengers, and they live on his boat, his dad's boat, which is the Phoenix. Toby and his father's crew on the Phoenix scavenge the seas for important bits of junk that they can use to keep their boat going. This happens basically after the world has gone to pot. It's caught up with itself for all the damage and everything that humans have done to it. So there is just sort of like, they travel the seas because they tend to be safer at seas than they are on the land. So it's really interesting because they've got this one main aim of getting to these solar panels, and it's about how are they going to get there, and you know, who do they come across on the seas, and it's a really great read, and it's out now as well, so I'll leave the link to Amazon for that as well to go and get it. Fourth book in this little piece is Whiter Than Snow by Matthew Eldridge, and I also read this in about 12 hours. And it was my first ever fairy tale retelling that I read, and I found it phenomenal. I can't even say that word. I found it unbelievable. I was gripped, and I didn't think I would be gripped by it because I thought, oh, fairy tale retelling, it's a little bit childish for me. But then when Matthew contacted me himself and said, would you like to review it, I thought, yeah, why not, it's a free book. And then when I read it, I was just so, oh my goodness, I loved it. I'm going to leave the link to the blog post I did for that down below as well, and that was just, it was great. I really enjoyed it. And the fifth and final book in this segment for the books I read in one sitting is The Host by Stephanie Meyer. I sounded really dramatic there, and that was great. Like, oh my god, I'm going to try and do that more often. Yeah, the first time I read this, I actually read it in one sitting, and then I reread it, and again I read it in one sitting. I know it's a chunky book, but at first I was sort of afraid to read it because it was Stephanie Meyer, and I'd grown out of my Twilight phase, and I really didn't, and like, you know, I'd got past the point of enjoying Twilight, so I thought, oh great, it's going to be another Twilight. And then I picked it up and I just couldn't put it down, and it follows, for those of you who don't know, it follows Mel, who basically, aliens have come to the planet and they're using human bodies as hosts, which means that in that time when a body gets used as a host, that person's personality and soul just disappears and it is replaced with the alien soul. Now this follows Melanie, who's on the run with her brother and her sort of boyfriend at the time, and they, you know, she's running for, she goes for food supply. The Seekers, who are the bodies of the sort of the police of these sort of alien creatures, hunt her down and take her body to be replaced with a host. And she fights back. Basically, this is about how, you know, the conscience of the human body, that the conscience of the host's body should disappear as soon as the alien life is put into it, because technically that person is dead, and the host is just that. It's just a host. It's supposed to be nothing other than a body for this alien to live in, and Melanie is still alive and kicking goddamn well, really, in Wanda's body. And I absolutely loved this book. I really enjoyed it, and I'm surprised that I actually managed to read this at the age that I read it in one sitting. So yeah, that is the 5th book. So to conclude, at number 1 we have Harry Potter. At number 2 we have The Hunger Games, all 3 of them. At number 3 we have Phoenix Rising by Bridie Pierce. At number 4 we have Whiter Than Snow by Matthew Eldridge. And at number 5 we have The Host by Stephanie Meyer. And that is it for today. So please do go and check out the Goodreads group down below for the Top 5 Wednesday. That's where you'll find everyone who's done Top 5 Wednesday videos, I think. I'll leave the link, everything like that down below. And hopefully I shall see you all very soon. Have I done this right? I don't even know if I've done this right. So let me know in the comments down below if you think I should include anything else in these Top 5 Wednesday videos. And hopefully I'll see you all very soon. Goodbye!